Blunder after blunder, and yet he clings on to life, to identity. Few leaders in modern history have outlived the truth so completely as Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. The question is not is now not whether he survives politically, but whether he exists at all in any meaningful sense. Someone in the comment section has asked, I suppose half in jest, what the significance of the Smeg fridge was. Well, I've got one behind me. To the uninitiated, to those who haven't followed me for a long time, it refers to a Telegram report from October 2023, which I've covered a few times, which claimed that Putin was dead, refrigerated quite literally somewhere in the depths of his Novo Ogariovo compound. Days later, the rumour was silenced, the channels scrubbed, and the doubles rolled out like matryoshka dolls of denial. Yet the joke persists because it touches something true. Whether dead or alive, Putin abandoned real life long ago. His existence, if it can still be called that, is curated through deep fake smiles, looped footage, and AI-stitched gestures. The man in the Kremlin is an algorithm of himself. The Smeg fridge, then, is a metaphor for a frozen regime. Putin, or the idea of Putin, which is so much more important than the man, stuck in the freezer today, stuck in the freezer tray, with the iced lollies and the 1970s chalk ices, a relic preserved for nostalgia's sake. Careful what you put in your mouth, though, when you're fumbling around in the fridge. This is not a video about Sarah Ferguson, of course. It is about the spectacle of power gone stale. And the irony is that even as Putin's body or doubles, doppelgangers, shuffle through stage meetings, shuffle, little arm twitches and the wrong-sized earlobes, his empire unravels. North Korean soldiers have turned their guns on Russian comrades in Kursk. Russian troops starve on the Dnipro Islands, drinking river water and dying in the reeds. His air force drops bombs on its own airfields. His army is in a death cult, sustained by fear and inertia. It's an empire whose generals plead for tires, whose marines crowd into dinghies, whose officers are executed for retreating from the mud. And yet, in the middle of this horror, the Kremlin insists on broadcasting an image of calm omnipotence, the tyrant's portrait retouched until only the myth remains. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, astonishingly, has begun to call the bluff. As one Telegraph columnist put it, Russia is a weakish, brittle power in rapid decline. The invasion of Ukraine was meant to arrest the decay. It has accelerated it, and that is the truth Putin cannot face. The Russian state is not mighty but mummified. Trump, in his brash and self-serving way, may have stumbled into a policy that Europe dare not articulate. Russia is beatable, its strength is performative, its deterrence theatrical, and when Trump spoke of supplying Tomahawk missiles that could strike Moscow, it was not just a threat, it was a psychological unmasking, and Putin hurried from the fridge for a meeting. For decades, Europe exaggerated Russia's menace as an excuse for inaction. It moralized in public and paid for gas in private. But now the myth is punctured. What remains is grotesque theatre, a war fought by ghosts, commanded by a man who might already be a ghost. Inside Russia, the paranoia is palpable. Body doubles are rumoured to rehearse Putin's every twitch. Regional governors whisper that the orders they receive are recycled statements, perhaps not written by any living hand, and all the while the people grow poorer, their sons are conscripted, their futures frozen in the same symbolic Smeg, a cold, humming machine of lies. If power is performance, then Putin is the last actor in a collapsing theatre. His stage is shrinking, from Kyiv to Kherson, from Kursk to the Kremlin's basement, all those Ks. KKK. The audience has stopped applauding, and yet the curtains never quite close. Perhaps that is the strangest survival of all, not biological but bureaucratic, not the endurance of a man but the persistence of a myth that refuses to thaw. Whether he is already dead, half dead, or digitally embalmed, Putin's Russia continues to exist as an echo of the 20th century, resentful, paranoid, afraid of the mirror. So, if you ask me where Putin lives, I would say somewhere between the freezer and the feed. between the fridge door and the false smile, a man reduced to footage, replayed endlessly, cold, preserved and perishing all the same. And that is the tragic comedy of Putin's survival, the world's coldest resurrection, staged nightly on state television in Russia, where the real Russia, hungry and humiliated, melts away.